Hey guys and girls out there in MIDI Guitar land, it's Dolly Coney from Sydney, Australia. And after my last video talking about Logic Pro for iPad, I thought it might be a good time to actually go and have a little bit of a look at Cubasis. So Cubasis, I've had it for a long time. It says LE3, but it's actually the full version. I think I got a discounted or maybe a free version of Cubasis with my iOS audio interface that I've got many years ago. So I've kind of had it around, but like, you know me, I don't really use DAWs so much, especially not on iOS. I kind of tend to gravitate towards host software. As you can see here, Sessions or Loopy Pro or AUM, it's kind of my go-to. But let's just have a quick look at how to set up MIDI Guitar 3 with Cubasis and just get up and running. So I set up a little project a little bit earlier, and it's pretty simple. So let's go straight into it. So actually I just want to erase that stuff. There we go, we'll get rid of it. And so what you can see here over on the iPad is 3 tracks. So the first track is the MG3 track, right? So MIDI Guitar 3 running as an AUV3. So I've got my audio input from my guitar. Okay, so it's actually getting routed from my computer through the interface to the iPad because the input on the front of my interface is a bit dodgy, and it just works better this way. So yeah, the audio is coming in and there's no output. And if we look at the insert effects, we can see MIDI Guitar 3 is here running MIDI Guitar Mini, the default preset. I'm using the standard tracker. It's this guy. And low gate, no input gain. For the MIDI output, I've set it to my audio interface's MIDI port. And I'm using MPE MIDI here and a bend range of 48. Now, it's worth noting that Cubasis 3 itself doesn't have any MPE synthesizers in its roster of synths, but that's cool. I mean, if you're on iOS, you've probably got some other MPE synth. So I've instantiated an MOG here. And if we have a look at the routing, you can see that that's the same port that I just showed you guys in the MIDI Guitar 3 GUI, in the MIDI output module. So I'm getting my MIDI in from there. There's an MOG. I'm using the dual filters preset. And just finally, Cubasis 3 recently had the addition of some amp sims and effects that it didn't have before. So that's pretty neat. We've got the amp rack here, and I'm just using this classic lead. It's fine. It's nothing special. Looks okay. It's quite a nice interface. But yeah, that just is what it is. And so yeah, so we've got an amp and we've got a synth, and we should have a sound. So yeah, it's pretty easy to just get a sound going with it. I would also point out that with MIDI Guitar 3, you can actually use the internal MIDI port, Cubasis LE3. Just for my purposes, I kind of prefer using my interface. I think it's a little more responsive than some of the virtual MIDI ports. I don't know if I'm imagining that or not. I haven't really stress tested it, but it just kind of feels better to me. Okay, so if we wanted to maybe record something. So let's just okay, so I mean, there's not too much to it. I suppose if you didn't really want to use the MIDI guitar plugin like this, you could also just use the standalone version. So let's have a look at that. So, yep, that's cool. I'll just make sure I got the right tracker. Yep. And that's got the MIDI guitar out. Okay, so what am I going to do with this? I'm going to go back over to Cubasis. Go to Animoog Z, routing, and I'm just going to find the MIDI guitar out and select that as the source, and that works fine. Okay, so we'll just take these, let me do that. There we go. All right, so same thing. So okay, I'm not going for perfection here. I'm just going for getting things up and running as quickly as possible. This is pretty straightforward. I quite like the amp sims in here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. I'm kind of wondering, actually, does it have a volume pedal? It's one thing I always find a bit disappointing about iOS amp sims is that they're not really that full featured. So oh, it does. It's got volume. Yeah, I mean, that's not that important, but how do you get rid of it? There you go. You hit no effect. It would appear there might be some other effects that are already instantiated and so they can't be reused. Okay. So like the gate, the equalizer, the overdrive. That's cool. If you want to use the native synth inside Cubasis, you'll have to go into MIDI Guitar and change the MIDI Guitar legacy, and I know I'd probably use a bend range of 2. It's up to you. See what you come up with. So the MPE synth is actually responding to that, but you know, you could go in here and then just choose something different, like, I don't know, FM Classics. I don't know. So clearly there's something wrong with my pitch pitch bend range there. Oh no, there you go. There's the numbers popping up now in the controls. So if you go for 2, 2, to pitch bend up, pitch bend down. I don't know if it needs to be minus or what, but if I go back to here and so yeah, it's workable. You've got both options here. But you know, as far as getting into recording, I think I still find the workflow confusing and clunky on iOS. I mean, the interface is nice, but the actual way of dealing with it doesn't really work too great for me. I'd probably just record using a computer. But still, it's nice to have access to these tools. And perhaps I'll challenge myself to some, creative pursuits using the iOS platform rather than using macOS all the time. But anyway, I hope you found this interesting. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.